What's going on? L4T Commander back with another video. It's been a while, been working on some stuff, getting the creative juices flowing and such, but here we are with another video, and today I want to talk about releasing the stress of having way too many decks built. That's what I want to talk about. The therapeutic nature of going down to fewer decks and building more. So let's talk about it. Land for turn commander. So before we start this video, I just want to talk about one awesome thing, and it's the sponsor of the channel and this video. The Forge is a small business owned and operated by nerds located in Chaska, Minnesota. They carry all things Magic the Gathering, Warhammer, D&D, Pokemon, and more board games than you've ever seen. They host events every day of the week, so it's very clear that community first is their belief system. Friendly people, great community, good vibes. I am super excited to be sponsored by them. Definitely check them out in stores from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. or join their community via Discord. I will leave their links below. Let's get into the topic of the day. If you've been playing Commander for a while, you may have a lot of decks. Every set comes out about every 2 to 3 months now, and if you're a Commander player that likes new stuff and new toys, you probably build new decks, trying new archetypes, and if you're someone like me that's been playing Commander for a lot of years, you've built up a nice catalog of cards that can fit different archetypes and themes, and you're figuring out what you like in Commander, right? Because I can throw some stuff together and be like, these are cards I like, yeah. But in Commander, the themes are very prevalent. And through all the years of playing Commander, I have really figured out what I actually do like playing. There's some stuff that I've built many decks of aristocrats, and it ends up always being, I don't really want to play this. It's a lot of brain stuff. I got to use a lot of brain energy to know what's going on when it's pinging and dinging and draining and gaining all this stuff around the table, and I just don't like aristocrats as much anymore. It's still a nice like sub strategy for stuff that just builds big boards and stuff, but I just, it's not like my favorite thing to play, right? So, you know, I made Planeswalkers decks. It's not my favorite thing to play anymore. So those have all been taken apart and stuff, right? So coming from a Commander player, I had about 25 decks and spanning all the different archetypes, right? And like I said, if you've been playing a long time, you have this huge, if you've bought in, especially if you bought into a lot of different archetypes and themes, you have so many cards to work with, right? Now, say you got 20 decks, 30 decks. I know people with 50 decks. Sometimes taking apart a deck at 50 or 40 or whatever can feel like a slog, like, oh man, now I gotta take those apart and I'm just gonna have this one deck taken apart and those cards are just sitting there. Why don't I just have it together, right? Well, let me tell you this. I was at 25 decks and I took them down, and I am down to, I think, 10 decks right now. The capacity that your brain has to think for the new sets that come out and all the new cards that can go into these other builds and stuff for Commander, it's exhausting, right? If you got that many decks and a new set, Thunder Junction was straight up heat, and I could have upgraded my decks with multiple cards. That's not very responsible for my wallet. So instead, I took a bunch of decks apart. When I go and play with the homies, you get about 3 to 4 games in. Depends on how fast everything's moving. If people got stronger stuff, it's probably 4. And if people have a little bit longer games, we're probably 2 and 3. I cannot play 25 decks in multiple months, right? So instead of that, I've really been focusing on the stuff that I actually like to do in Commander, right? I'm a big fan of artifacts and big creatures, power matters, stuff like that. You know, weird interaction shenanigans that can happen, like Volrath when you change them into different things. Your game is always different because your opponents always have different creatures. That deck is awesome. Another one that it reminds me of is Narset, the new legendary creature Narset that can get stuff from graveyards. It's awesome because every game is going to look different. Those are the decks I really want to build and hone in and craft. You know, get your fingies in there and craft them. You know, like Ghost, like the movie Ghost. I'm not. I'm the ghost, and you're no. So don't feel stressed out about it. I was so stressed about it, thinking, oh man, I gotta sort all these cards. I gotta go all through all this stuff. I took apart 15 decks, maybe even more, but I built some, and that was the kicker. I got them all sorted. That took a while, but once you start building from all that stuff, and you see all the cards you have, and you're like, dang man, that card's been sitting there. I haven't played that deck in 3 months. I haven't played that deck in a year. But now I got these cards just hanging out. Oh, I can build, baby. So my takeaway from all this was finally get them all taken apart. Get a bunch taken apart. If you can't see, I have two big boxes back here that can hold about 12 decks each. They're both full up, both straight up full up. One box is completely empty now, and I can manage the other box so much easier. I have all my stuff on Moxfield. That's easier to manage. The new sets come out. I can pick the cards I really, really like, or I can go draft, or I can open up a fat pack or something and just kind of run into stuff. It's a simpler version of the everything's online net deck style thing where a lot of my friends I've told, if you can't keep up with the sets, just make a bookmark of your decks on EDH Rec and check them when new sets come out. They're going to put up the new cards that fit in the deck. And that's like the best way for some people to do it. And then I have other friends that they tell me that I play with cards from the future because they can't keep up with it. It is a very tough ask to keep up with all the sets that they come out constantly, right? So I'm playing with cards from the future to them. They probably won't see them for another few months, at least maybe a year, or unless I'm telling them about them and they're like, okay, the card's pretty sick. Maybe I can trade them some or something if I open something. But lately, having that many decks was just kind of stressful. And now I've brought it down. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of Magic YouTube. Jake and Joel are Magic are super dope. I think it was Jake. No, Joel. I think it was Joel. He's talking about how he has a lineup. He has 5 decks in rotation that those are the decks that he has. He grabs every single time he goes to play. But he builds frequently and stuff can get swapped in. You got pinch hitter, bro. You just swap it in and the other one goes out and it doesn't mean it's gone. You can save lists on Moxfield. You can save lists on Architect or whatever you use. You can always build those back up. But when you are stuck with 30 decks, you start taking one card out of each deck. Oh, man, that's going to take a while. You are going to start forgetting stuff, and you're going to be like, I'm going to go grab this deck to play, and you're missing a card. You don't remember what you took. So I'm telling you, don't be stressed out. Don't be afraid. Take some stuff apart, and if you don't like it, and you're like, oh, I don't know why I took that apart, build that bad boy back up. Always give it a fresh look when you're building. New cards come out. Give it a fresh look. Look at your numbers. Look at your ramp, your card draw, everything. How did it play? What does it need? The building process is almost more, for a lot of players, I know me, it's more of the synergy and the fine-tuning I really like, but I got a lot of friends that the building's almost the best part about Magic. Is building new decks and trying them out and see if they actually work. If it worked, like, dang, that thing kicked some butt. Maybe I don't want something that strong. That's okay. Just take it apart. Build something else new. Bada bing, bada boom. Another thing is like lands and stuff. You want to have good land base in your decks. Having that many decks is tough. You start getting more and more thin. Start going for different lands and stuff that you don't use in your other decks because you just don't have as many. Don't be afraid. Take decks apart. Have a few in rotation. Build more. Especially if you've bought in over the years and you have all these different themes and stuff covered with all the cards that you have, it is very easy when you're at 5 decks to build a fresh thing. When you have everything sorted and you can just go look through some stuff, throw it together. How does it play? Look at your numbers, start assessing what it needs and stuff. I just wanted to put that point out. Haven't been on for like a month. I just wanted to get the videos flowing again. And like I said, keep less, build more, enjoy the new cards. And if you can't afford it, just proxy that crap. There's so many crazy good cards, just proxy it. Ask the homies if they're cool with it. Let people know you're using proxies, but a lot of people are pretty cool with it. Test drive the card before you just take that bad boy off the lot. And don't buy 30 cars. Okay, this is getting a little crazy. This is getting a little rambly. But thank you so much for watching it. Again, thanks to the sponsors, The Forge, Chaska, Minnesota. These guys are awesome. The shop is so dope. Go visit them. And for the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, share, ring the bell, ding the dong, tell the homies, and don't forget your L3G. See you.